Hello, welcome back from my hiatus. I'm sorry I've been gone so long. I've just had a lot going on lately in my life, and it's not something I want to get too in detail about online with people I don't know. So I'm not going to really talk anything about it, but I've been gone. I am now back. So I'm just going to do an easy commentary type video for this week, and then hopefully jump back into the regular content next week. But today, my commentary will be on the online book community in general, mostly BookTok, because that's where most of it is, but the book community, the reading community, I have a lot to say, and I am not sure how I'm gonna say it yet, but we'll just jump right on into it. My first point is going to be on the influence of BookTok, BookTube, all of those places. I have definitely fallen victim to this. People show off their book collection all the time. If you've been here for a while, you know that I have a very large book collection. I used to film in front of it. I can no longer do that because of how the furniture is set up in my room. Maybe one day I will have a room that is just dedicated to my hobbies, and I will be able to have all of my books there, and I'll be able to film in front of them again. But for now, just not possible. Unfortunately. They're everywhere. You've seen them, my floating bookshelves, my Stephen King corner. I love my Stephen King corner. It is now too small for all the Stephen King books I own, so not sure what I'm going to do about that, but there's that. People love to show off their book collections, which, I don't have an issue with that. If that's what you enjoy, then that's what you enjoy. I do have a very large book collection. I have over 200 books that I have not read yet. A lot of them were my doing. I go to secondhand bookstores a lot, or library book sales, and I try to get secondhand books before I buy new ones, but a new book gets released that I've been waiting for, I will buy it brand new. I also have been reading since I was a child, so some of these have amassed since very early in my life. I get a lot of gifts from family that are like Barnes & Noble gift cards, Half Price Books gift cards, actual physical books that they think I will like. So a portion of my collection was gifted to me. It was not like I am going out and buying tons of books solely for the purpose of showing them off. They are books I actually want to read and do plan on reading. But I don't want everybody to feel pressured to have a large book collection. You do not have to have hundreds of books to be a reader. Something I probably should keep in mind because I have now amassed enough books that I have some packed away in boxes because they don't fit on my shelf. Don't fall victim to that, like I obviously have. I feel like in our current times, it's hard not to spend money on things that you enjoy. The economy is awful, but when it takes money to get that happiness or that thing that you enjoy, I feel like a lot of people are going to want to spend money on their happiness versus some other things, which is just kind of the times right now, I guess. I try not to spend too much because I do want to own a house one day. This is not my house. It is my parents' house. I live in my childhood bedroom with Justin, my boyfriend. We do plan on moving out at some point, but it's hard to find a place to move to right now, too, especially when you have 2 cats that you're planning on bringing along with you. But please do not think that you need to have all of these books to be a reader. Don't think that you have to have the newest Kindle all the time to be a reader. You don't need any of that. Just do what you can and don't let the internet pressure you into doing more, basically, is what I meant to say there. Took me forever, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Do not let the internet pressure you into doing anything. Do not buy things only because the internet wants you to. A lot of the books that I own were not super in my face on the internet. They were things that I found on my own or heard about through people at my book club. That's it. So, we'll talk about another point next. I'm not sure what order I want to do any of this in. It's bonkers. I'll figure it out. Next, I want to talk about reading goals. I have stopped doing reading goals. I don't try to read a certain number of books anymore. It was stressing me out. And I'm a fast reader. I do read very quickly. I read almost 100 books last year. I'm just a fast reader. But I started to kind of get burnt out on it towards the end of the year, and I attempted to do a goal like at the beginning of the year, and I just had trouble keeping up with it because I'm feeling a little burnt out. But you should not feel like you have to read a ton of books just because all of the BookTokers are. I have not read that many books this year so far. I'm under 30 books for the year, which is crazy for me because I'm a really fast reader and I do really love to read. But I have other hobbies and I have other things to do. So I've also been focusing on those because you don't have to have one single hobby that is your entire life and your entire personality. I do happen to have a BookTok, a Bookstagram, a BookTube, but I do that because I want to and because I enjoy it. I don't do any of this to make it my full-time thing. Realistically, I don't think I'd want it to be a full-time thing. I very much need consistency and I need to know that I have a paycheck coming. And when this is all you do, I feel like it would be a little bit stressful not knowing if you would have enough. I also just enjoy working. My job is so frustrating, but I do love my job and I love going to work and I love doing what I do. I am in school for my master's if you've been here long enough for me to start that journey. I hear someone. Yeah, I have a lot going on, so I don't have a whole lot of time to read anymore, but I'm still reading. I'm doing what I can. You can see my little Kindle holder over here because I've been reading an arc on my Kindle. I wanted so badly to read more arcs this year, but obviously I have not really gotten to do a whole lot of that because I just cannot find the time. I've been doing a lot more audiobooks this year so that I can enjoy my books while I do other things. I have my book bedazzling that I've been doing while I listen. You can't see it because it's on my desk over there, but my bedazzling supplies are on the desk over there right now. I think I'm working on Twilight right now. And then I also need to work on Mockingjay. That's what it is. I couldn't remember what the third Hunger Games book was called for a minute, but it's also over there getting worked on. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. Don't feel like you have to read a ton of books. You don't have to read a ton of books. I have tanked in my numbers this year, which is fine. I am still alive. I am still happy. I don't need to read 100 books a year to feel good about myself. I'm in 3 book clubs, so that helps me to read each month. I do what I can when I can. But That's all that really matters, as long as you're happy. I have, I think, one more thing I want to talk about, and then I'll call it, and we'll be done for this one. The last thing I want to talk about is being online in general. Seeing all of these book influencers on all these different platforms, I feel like that is kind of what sucked me in. At first, I was starting to get back into reading, and when I did that and I was watching all of the people on YouTube and TikTok, I was like, oh, I could do that. Of course I can. Anybody can make videos and post them online. It's not as difficult as some people make it, but that's what sucked me in at first, was seeing other people do it, and now here I am. I enjoy doing it. I only post what I want to post and what I'm interested in. I'm not somebody that jumps on trends right away and does it because other people are doing it. I do read books that I see a lot about sometimes. I've definitely been victim to buying books only because everybody else is reading them, and then they're just kind of meh. But such is life. You can't know how you're going to feel about it unless you do it or try it. So there's that. But you don't have to be online. Just because you like to read and you're an avid reader does not mean you have to have a BookTok. Does not mean that you have to share all of that on the internet if you don't want to. If it makes you happy to do that, then go for it. I do like posting about the books that I read and the books that I like, mostly because I like to look back at the things that I've done and think about the fact that I did that. That's just how I am. I love looking at my reviews of books and trying to find friends that I think that would enjoy that one, and I recommend it. I just love doing all of that. There's not really a whole lot to say about it. I got sucked into the online world, and now here I am in the online world. But I only post when I feel like it now. I used to be forcing myself to be really, like, consistent and structured with that, but I'm not trying to make this my full-time thing, so why am I trying so hard? Was my thought process. So, took a step back for a while, really thought about, like, what I want to do with all of this, and trying not to be as, like, strict on myself for all of that stuff. So just trying to undo what the internet has done to me, I guess. I don't want to make anybody else feel like they shouldn't make all of these accounts and do all this stuff. If you want to do that, then do that. But don't let it consume your life. Moral of the story. Have hobbies, but don't let them consume your entire life. I guess unless you're like me and have ADHD and hyperfixate on hobbies for a period of time and then move on to the next one. But do what makes you happy. That's pretty much all I have to say for this one. So, I don't know what we're doing next week, but there will be something next week. So, happy reading. Enjoy your weekend. See you next Friday.